You know, it's so funny that you say playing the part of a delusional made-up princess. I am a delusional made-up princess.
They won't let me call myself Her Royal Highness anymore.
It's so awesome to be here, it's great.
Did you do much beyond Rachel from Suits?
Well, besides Rachel from Suits, I also played Meghan.
We want privacy! We want privacy! You've lived a life with the royal family, you've had everything handed to you, but you say your life has been hard, and now you've written all about it in your new book, Where?
Welcome to my garden. Well, it's not my garden, it's a set actually, but welcome to my set.
Is this a wrinkle I see in my blouse? Who the f ironed this?
How dare you, sir! My Instagram-loving wife has always wanted her privacy!
Your sandwich tastes like shit, Mindy.
What matters is what we have on the inside.
I am strong enough that I can thank myself. Thank you, Meghan.
Act like you're having fun. Act like you're having fun.
Just when Meghan Markle thought the South Park chaos had quieted down, new leaks from inside the writer's room suggest the rumored episode isn't just happening, it's going scorched earth. And the ending, sources say it left even test viewers speechless.
Hazawaza keeps saying that I have charisma, but I just think I'm relatable.
See, I didn't know who H was. At the time, I just loved his Insta feed.
It's so funny, too, that you keep calling me Meghan. You know, it's Megan now.
More details are trickling out about Meghan Markle's next alleged run-in with South Park, and this time the gloves are off. According to insiders tied to the animation studio, a late-stage draft of the script includes a finale so ruthless, it reportedly had execs debating whether to pull it entirely. From savage jabs at her Truth Tour interview to a not-so-subtle dig at her NDA-clad staff, the episode's ending is being described as brutal, unfiltered, and career-cracking.
I always remember when I was 2 years old, I asked my mother, Mama, why do actresses get paid less than actors when they do the same job, especially on Suits?
People were saying, meh. It's not meh. It's pronounced me. The H is silent.
If what's being said is even half true, Meghan's team may be scrambling behind the scenes again. So what exactly happens in that final scene, and why are even her allies bracing for impact? Let's break down what we've learned. Fresh off the latest whisper, a junior storyboard artist, speaking under an unverified handle on a private Discord, claims the first table read of the revised finale ignited audible gasps when Trey Parker unveiled a last-minute punchline that twists Meghan's now infamous tell the truth demand into a flaming boomerang. The leak alleges Parker stood up mid-read, tossed his annotated script onto the conference table, and declared, "We end on the truth, or we don't end at all." Within minutes, a legal affairs rep was summoned, brandishing a thick file labeled Royal Contingencies. Yet Parker and Matt Stone allegedly invoked their non-negotiable creative control clause, daring the Suits to blink.
Well, I actually wrote a fairy tale when I was 3. It was called The Little Girl Who Ran Away to Join the Theater and did a play and then married a prince. And that play was called Suits.
I feel like the focus is starting to shift off of me. Maybe in editing you'll fix it.
I thought we were moving forward, Meghan.
Well, we're not.
One attendee swears the showdown felt tenser than the Tom Cruise episode, while another insists the room eventually erupted in relieved laughter after a particularly savage one-liner targeting Meghan's freshly trademarked jam venture. Skeptics inside the studio still question whether the risk calculus makes sense, but Buzz says Parker and Stone smell Emmy Gold whenever the Royals send cease and desist vibes. As for that boomerang gag, insiders hint it lands in the final 3 seconds, timed with a thunder crack, and the Duchess stand-in's jaw drop. Could that single beat be what has executives and Monteceto PR pros losing sleep tonight? Stay tuned because the next leak claims the legal team tried a stealth tweak that lasted less than 6 hours before being ripped out overnight. Hours after that explosive table-read studio hallways reportedly buzzed with talk of a fabled megaphone meg sequence that precedes the bombshell ending and cranks up the satire to 11. A lighting tech relaying details to a self-styled animation sleuth on Reddit says Meghan's cartoon doppelganger storms onto the hospital set. Yes, the same faux maternity ward first teased in February, wielding a neon pink loudhailer and shrieking, "Tell the truth about my truth."
I couldn't brand myself independently and live off taxpayer money. It felt like quite a big violation. I essentially had to be forever beholden to taxpayer, whoever he is.
You never had a dream when you were a child to be something everyone else said was impossible? Like an astronaut, or prime minister, or masseur?
I wanted to be a princess.
Oh, well, you kind of f***ed that up.
The writers allegedly splice in rapid-fire flashbacks that lampoon her aspire with Emma Greed sit down. One shows the Duchess bragging she loves being in the kitchen, while a caption blares, "Chef hates jam." Another mimics her claim she's exactly where I'm supposed to be, before cutting to staffers racing for the exit under an NDA or nada sign. According to an unverified Slack dump, Parker insisted the interview gags stay because real satire must quote the source material, though a production manager fretted the sequence skates a hair's breadth from defamation. Meanwhile, critics in the podcast world are piling on. The body language guy, never shy about dramatic takes, uploaded a 15-minute breakdown alleging Meghan's facial micro-expressions in the Greed chat screamed secret dread whenever failures surfaced. Talk radio firebrand Dan Wooten chimed in too, telling listeners the aired clip proves she's all sell, no soul. South Park insiders say pounced on those very critiques. In the animatic, Meghan's cartoon lips allegedly glitch into a mechanical smile as background extras chant authenticity like a cult mantra. Then comes the kicker. Prince Harry's animated counterpart tries to intervene, only to be flattened by a rolling cart stacked with unsold American Riviera orchard jars. Sound engineers, per rumor, layered the crash with real-world audio of glass shattering to drive home the metaphor. Executives briefly flagged the jar gag as needlessly mean, but Parker joked it was fact-checked by Instagram's sellout stats.
My soul weeps in languages I've not yet chosen to invent.
Just follow my lead, Harry. I've been on TV for years, so I'm kind of a pro.
Yes, the very famous show Suits.
Yeah.
With every tweak, sources say Meghan's portrayal grows less sympathetic, yet Parker refuses to soften the blow. The question now, will legal or network brass demand a last-minute mercy edit, or will the scorched earth vision survive intact? Tuesday's closed-door screening for a tiny focus group of studio interns and trusted friends allegedly detonated the energy even further. Fresh intel drifting out of that room claims the third-act twist lifts its sharpest lines straight from Meghan's own tell-the-truth refrain, only the show twists it into a courtroom spoof, where townsfolk sue the Duchess for emotional distress triggered by her perpetual rebrands. According to one attendee, a mock judge pounds the gavel and growls, "Do you swear to spin no more glossy pivots?" Before the scene cuts to a jumbotron replaying the twerking in labor clip that went viral last week. Audience members reportedly gasped, then howled, when an animated Serena Williams storms in, rolls her eyes and mutters, "Girl, not again," a nod to Meghan's Aspire revelation that Serena told her a lie can't live forever. Insiders whisper the cameo is technically parody Serena to dodge likeness issues, yet the dialogue mirrors real interview quotes so precisely that lawyers flagged a heightened infringement risk. Even more savage, the writers sneak in a split-second flash of a faux Spotify logo labeled One Season Wonder, while background music riffs on Rachel Zane's Suits theme. Sound familiar?
I remember back to when I was known more for being a renowned actress in my various roles, such as Rachel from Suits, or Rachel from Suits Season 2, and Rachel from Suits Season 3.
Yes, I think I see your point.
And everyone does reality TV now, so don't worry about this being a step down for me, because it's not.
I wasn't until you just said it.
Plus, it's a really good platform to promote my brand.
What is your brand?
Oh, I don't know. I'll think of some piece of crap.
Commentators from Real News Network to Talk TV wasted zero time connecting the dots. Critics allege the show highlights every project Meghan launches then abandons. The montage, rumor has it, flashes through archetypes, the jam implosion, even archival footage of the scrunchy hustle she bragged about to Grade. One intern tells unverified fan blog South Snark that producers used Emma Grade's exact laugh track from the podcast as canned studio laughter. Pure meta, totally brutal, the source claims. South Park brass reportedly cheered when the focus group scored the episode's pacing at 94%, hilariously savage. Yet 2 survey cards read, "Tone feels meaner than usual, borderline uncomfortable." Network insiders insist no formal complaints have reached legal yet, but Meghan's camp is said to be monitoring chatter after hearing that Harry's animated twin shouts, "Spare me," right before the climatic burn. One studio exec calls the line the dagger nobody will forget. Whether it stays is the million-dollar question, because if Parker keeps it, the final minutes may vault this episode into franchise legend or trigger the fiercest royal pushback since that Oprah sit-down. Next leak on deck, a rumored musical sting mocking NDA culture that studio suits are still debating. Sources who claim they've skimmed the contested storyboard say that NDA La La Land, the working title for the musical sting, opens with a cartoon Meghan belting out a show tune while waving stacks of shredded contracts like feathered fans. Unverified lyrics reportedly riff on her Aspire confession that she loves being hands-on with every detail. The animated chorus replies, "Hands on the pen, sign here again."
Have you always been a natural creative?
Of course. I remember one example. I suggested to the royal family we should do a Real Housewives of Buckingham Palace, but they were against it every step of the way.
Plus, it's a really good platform to promote my brand.
What is your brand?
Oh, I don't know. I'll think of some piece of crap. Let's just start filming.
We've been filming.
Oh, fuck.
Every time the character hits a high note, glittery jam jars rain from the ceiling and splatter lawyers seated in the jury box. Insiders allege Parker and Stone poured over commentary from body language analyst channels, lifting those viral screen caps of Meghan's eye rolls and stitching them into quick-fire reaction GIFs that pop across the screen mid-song. The meta-joke, rumor has it, is that no NDA can muzzle a meme once it's sung on primetime cable, a direct swipe at the real-world aides who, according to recent YouTube critiques, are vaulting their daybooks behind legal padlocks. Momentum ratchets higher when an animated Emma Grade materializes stage left, still holding her Aspire cue cards. She tries tossing Meghan a lifeline, murmuring, maybe pivot to purpose, but the Duchess character shoves her aside with the line, I pivoted yesterday. Test viewers told podcast host Body Language Guy, unverified but delicious, that the moment landed like a punch. One said the parody Emma blinks 5 times, mirroring the real interview's viral clip. Commentary from Talk TV's Robert Jobson allegedly reached the writers in real time, inspiring a quick insert where a news ticker scrolls. Royal correspondent calls this narcissistic karaoke. If that stays in, it would mark the fastest critique to animation turnaround in South Park history, clocked at under 10 days. Studio whispers claim executives laughed but quietly circled the bit where Cartoon Harry appears backstage, checking his phone and muttering, "Babe, they canceled the next investor's call." Observers see that as a dig at the Aspire Jam sellout saga, especially because a giant red sold out again stamp slams onto the screen seconds later.
So, do you have any regrets yourself?
Of course. Don't we all? Probably my main regret is, the way that everyone else has acted. That's the thing that's most regrettable in my opinion.
My question is for Meghan. Meghan, besides holder of briefcase 24 on Deal or No Deal, what do you think your most impactful role was?
And then people kept wanting to get a picture. Because I'm on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. So, a lot of people coming up to us.
One legal consultant for the show, speaking off the record, warns that the satire might be too inside baseball for casual viewers. Yet the writers allegedly countered, the whole story's been playing like inside baseball since that twerk clip. Coming up, leaks point to a final cameo that no one, not even royal allies, saw coming. Fresh rumblings out of the digital in-betweens hint that the next segment pivots from Broadway parody to faux documentary realism, and it is here, say 2 separate storyboard leakers, that the episode allegedly unveils its most savage framing device, a mock Aspire follow-up titled Expire with Drama Greed. In the bit, animated cameras trail Meghan's cartoon crew as they sprint through a Netflix backlot, clutching crates of returned jam and half-written PR statements. The scene reportedly riffs on YouTuber Jesus Enrique Rosas's breakdown of Meghan's jaw clench when Emma hogged the mic. South Park's artists, insiders insist, exaggerate that tell by having the Duchess's animated jaw literally unhinge and chomp down on a stack of negative headlines, reducing them to confetti while chanting, delete, delete, delete. A background radio jingle croons, from manifesto to me-festo, a cheeky nod to podcast host Dan Wotton's claim that Meghan can't finish a series without sliding the spotlight back to herself. Adding fuel, one production assistant reveals, unverified of course, that Parker personally storyboarded a tote board tracking the Duchess character's unfinished ventures. Each box lights up, canceled Spotify show, 1-season podcast, Mystery Jam relaunch. When the meter overloads, sparks fly, frying the studio lights and plunging the set into darkness. Out of that blackout, a single spotlight lands on a tiny cartoon staffer in silhouette holding a daybook larger than himself. He squeaks, "I wrote it all down, please don't sue." The screen freezes, then smash cuts to an on-screen disclaimer reading, "Any resemblance to real NDAs is purely coincidental, unless you've already signed one."
Oh, and I brought some of my homemade ketchup. I'm coming out with a line of condiments, ketchups, mustards, that sort of thing.
We're really taking LA by storm.
Yeah, and the show's been a great platform to help me promote my brand.
It's already a brand. It's called Heinz.
Yeah, we're hoping the ketchups and mustards are going to be sold at Whole Foods, which, would be huge. Oh, and they're all organic in case anyone was wondering.
We weren't.
Lawyers inside Paramount allegedly groaned. Creative leads cheered. Meanwhile, royal Ascot chatter, per reporter Robert Bell, supposedly got woven in last minute. A horse named Privacy Plea bolts across the animated stage, scattering parchment labeled Empathy Clause, another sly wink to critics who say Meghan preaches openness while litigating for silence. Studio sources whisper that test audiences roared at the horse gag but gasped louder when a blinking news crawl teased a forthcoming cameo from 2 royal toddlers with pixelated faces and product placement lunchboxes. That line alone, rumor has it, triggered a late-night revision summit over whether lampooning minors crosses a line even in satire. The writer's solution? Triple down on meta humor and let the audience decide. Next leak, Meghan's virtual courtroom showdown with a talking jam jar, and the verdict is merciless. Word inside the color-correcting bay is that the satire only sharpens once the animated Meghan attempts full damage control, marching into a spoof Good American podcast studio where Emma Grade is replaced by a cardboard cutout that repeats, "Great point, Duchess," on a loop. Story editors allegedly lifted that beat straight from snarky recaps accusing the real interview of softballing every controversy. As the parody progresses, an intern's phone blares Rosas's viral face-red clip, forcing cartoon Meghan into a frantic scramble for authenticity settings. She punches digital sliders labeled humility, accountability, and self-awareness, but all three spring back to zero with an error chime that squawks impossible value. A timing memo claims Trey Parker personally signed off on the glitch, citing influencer breakdowns that mocked Meghan's insistence she feels no imposter syndrome. Mid-scene, Paramount lawyers supposedly flagged a line where the jam character shouts, "Even your berries have NDAs," fearing real-world pushback. Writers compromised by adding a flashing lower third that scrolls "Parody, parody, please don't sue," while the audience laughter track cranks up to 11. The segment then pivots to a live-action style insert, an animation trick South Park used before, where a grainy security cam plays the infamous hospital twerk clip. Two costume doctors whisper, "Is she crowning or promoting?" A direct echo of Dan Wooten's show where Angela Levin slammed the video as pure attention mining. Rumor has it Meghan's PR contingent begged Paramount to blur the footage. Instead, Parker's team allegedly looped it, each pass zooming tighter on the move, until one of the cardboard Emma cutouts collapses in mortified silence.
"That's fine, I'll go it alone. Just like Meghan Markle and Prince Harry."
I was living in the middle of nowhere in Toronto, Canada, and I didn't even really know the word royal. I mean, besides the Lord song. I love that song. It's an amazing pop rock ballad.
For added bite, the writers slip in a cameo of Royal Ascot commentator Robert Jobson, drawn as a dizzy racing pigeon, announcing odds on how long the Duchess's next venture will last. The bird coos, 9-1 it's toast by tea time, then smacks into a wall of discarded press releases. Studio noses say preview audiences howled, but executives wondered if naming real reporters risks messy phone calls. The compromise? Replace Jobson's voice with an obvious impression and give the pigeon a tiny top hat, ensuring plausible deniability while keeping the gag razor sharp. Next draft allegedly escalates the stakes. Enter Prince Harry, exit the marriage, or so insiders claim. The coming storyboard page reportedly leaves even seasoned crew staring at the ceiling, speechless, cliffhanger engaged. Meanwhile, unverified table read whispers claim the next act detonates Meghan's carefully curated truth brand, with a gag so specific insiders suspect someone on the animation staff has seen those alleged daybooks her former Monteceto aides stashed in a legal vault. According to two freelance artists chatting on encrypted forums, a frantic cartoon Duchess discovers an avalanche of pink journals piled outside her faux palace gates, each embossed with the phrase "Tell the truth" in gold foil. When she cracks one open, instead of flattering gratitude pages, she finds hourly logs of midnight memo blasts, last-second floral demands, and that legendary 3 a.m. directive to source beige everything. A sticky note inside even reads, "Remember Father's Day post no later than 3 p.m., a cheeky nod to Britney's viral breakdown of Meghan's alleged lukewarm tribute to Harry. The scene escalates when a hologram-style Serena Williams floats above the diaries, repeating Meghan's own quote, "A lie can't live forever," before smacking the books with a tennis racket that launches them skyward like confetti. Studio chatter says Parker and Stone were giddy to weave in Serena after online body language sleuths clocked Meghan's side-eye during the Real Aspire chat. The hologram then glitches, turning the phrase into "ANDA can't hide forever," which sources allege had Paramount lawyers rereading non-disparagement clauses at dawn. For Metaspice, the writers apparently inserted a QR code on one diary. Early testers scanned it and landed on a looping clip of Emma Grade smiling blankly while a speech bubble repeats. Great question.
Prince Harry, though, has become the punchline of a Saturday Night Live joke. Let's have a look.
NBC has announced plans for a spin-off to the hit series Suits, which will be set in Los Angeles. It will focus on Meghan Markle's character's struggle to balance her legal career while also caring for an unemployed immigrant.
Observers claim the joke scored uproarious laughs, but also prompted an emergency meet with Netflix execs worried the spoof might chill their consumer products deal. Adding salt, a jam jar rolls across the screen, cracks open and oozes over the diaries while a robotic voice chirps, "Spreading thin achieved," mocking Meghan's boast that only her preserves should be thin. The jar's label changes every frame, American Riviera Orchard with "Love Meghan as ever," then melts into a puddle labeled "Rebrand soon." Test viewers reportedly gasped when the puddle sprouts two tiny animated children waving price tags, alluding to accusations she will monetize Archie and Lilibet's wardrobes next. The lights dim, a thunderclap hits, and cartoon Meghan bellows, "Not the kids, you monsters," before the screen cuts to static. Rumor has it what follows makes that outburst look tame, and producers are bracing for royal-level backlash in the very next sequence. Insiders who caught the following storyboard swear the static fades into a faux Netflix splash screen titled Content and Commerce, a direct swipe at Meghan's proud boast that her show and product line would merge where content and commerce can meet. In the spoof, the red N warps into a giant neon dollar sign, then dissolves to reveal an animated Bella Bajaria juggling jam jars like hot potatoes while chanting, "Someone else's urgency is not my urgency," another line lifted verbatim from the Aspire episode. As each jar tumbles, a cash register dings, and the jars re-stamp themselves with ever-shrinking best before dates. Animators allegedly underline the metaphor by flashing a scoreboard that reads, 4 pilot projects, 0 heritage brands, prompting audible groans from staffers who remember Meghan telling Emma she wanted her label to be evergreen. The parody then drags Harry into the fray. Test cut descriptions say a bewildered cartoon prince pedals a tandem bike alone, the empty seat marked Chief Visionary. His path is lined with cardboard cutouts of discarded PR teams labeled Sunshine Sax, Archewell Audio, and Random VP of Consciousness. Each cutout topples as he rides by, releasing a puff of confetti shaped like NDA paperwork. Observers claim the gag landed especially hard because of the real-life exodus of 6 staffers from Meghan's latest venture, news that broke only days after her Aspire sit-down.
All right, and I do see you're in our database, but you didn't first get help at this Cumhammer location?
No, my wife went to one in California as a child.
Ah, okay, then you must be in the national system. Oh yeah, is this you? Sorority girl, actress, influencer, victim.
Yeah, that's totally me.
Okay, I see, and then you added your husband to your friends and family account. You must be the Royal Prince Millionaire World Traveler victim.
That's right.
One animation writer allegedly quipped, "It's not satire if it's Tuesday, but the sharpest knife," sources whisper, comes when the prince crashes into a billboard for Royal Reality Tour 2.0, plastered with Meghan's grin and the slogan, "No failure option." The sign splinters, revealing Queen Elizabeth's corgi holding a placard that reads, "The firm thanks you for your service, refund pending." The corgi then trots toward a palace silhouette, door closing just before Harry can follow, telegraphing the rumored frost between California and Kensington. According to one leak, executives feared the corgi punchline drifted into too soon territory, but kept it after Parker dryly noted, "History wrote that joke for us." Just as viewers catch their breath, the screen zooms on a final QR code teasing unseen bonus footage, and everyone who scanned in the test room yelled in unison, only to be met with a spinning beige loading wheel titled "Still Manifesting." Critics on the lot said the auditorium went eerily silent, sensing the finale was about to push every boundary left. When that beige wheel finally morphs into the climactic scene, insiders gasp that it pivots from lampoon to full-on psychological takedown. Rumor has it the backdrop becomes a courtroom turned tech stage, part Buckingham paneled wood, part Silicon Valley keynote. A spotlight snaps on Meghan's animated avatar brandishing the same tell-the-truth megaphone she flaunted in the Aspire clip. She demands silence, then cues a holographic presentation labeled Impact Metrics. Instead of bar charts, a conveyor belt of ex-staffers rolls by, each clutching a shredded calendar marked Daybook. Every time the Duchess avatar waves, the conveyor speeds up, shredding more pages and firing NDA confetti into the air. Test viewers say she then declares, "See? Nothing to hide," while an on-screen counter flashes, 100% transparency, minus 99%. At this point, multiple sources allege Trey Parker injects a meta cameo. A crudely drawn Emma Grade pops up, still in her Aspire set, trying to explain profit margins. Each time Emma utters jam, Meghan's avatar presses a buzzer that zaps the word into spin. By the 4th zap, cartoon Emma melts into melted spread, oozing off stage as a scrolling Chiron snarks, "Another partnership toasted."
Build electric cars, he's going to Mars. Why is he even involving himself with Twitter? It would be like if the Prince of England gave it all up just to marry an actor from Suits.
Studio leakers say the writers wanted viewers to recall Meghan's real-world admission that she vetoes decision by committee, casting the meltdown as the logical punchline. Then comes the gag executives reportedly labeled Brutal Plus. The courtroom lights dim. A giant Monte Carlo-style slot machine drops from the ceiling. Its reels are tiny Netflix icons, Oprah silhouettes, and dollar signs. Meghan yanks the lever, chanting her Aspire mantra, "My faith is greater than my fear." The slots spin, land on 3 rogue symbols, a crown, a corgi, and a Union Jack. And alarms blare, "Contract breach." An animated legal clerk stamps "revoked" across the screen, and the slot collapses, sending Meghan's avatar plummeting through a trapdoor labeled Heritage Brand Pending. Audience members at the test screening reportedly sat stunned until Parker deadpanned, "That's not an ending, that's a beginning." As security ushered people out, one clutch of viewers claimed the writers weren't done. They whispered of a post-credit sting so savage it might never air. What could top a trapdoor freefall? Stay tuned, because in the rumored tag, a familiar cartoon queen is said to return for one last royal verdict. Insiders who stuck around through the closing credits insist the lights flick back on for a single, razor-thin epilogue, and it allegedly leaves Meghan's previous controversies looking like polite tea chatter. The scene opens on a dimly lit Monteceto kitchen, animation style but unmistakably modeled on the Instagram backdrop of her baby mama dance. An exhausted cartoon Harry tries to frost a mountain of leftover jam jars while speaking into a malfunctioning podcast mic. Every word he utters is censored by an on-screen content-pending legal review bar. Enter an elderly corgi wearing a tiny headset, clearly channeling the late Queen's beloved pets. The pup hits play on a vintage tape recorder that blasts Meghan's own Aspire quote, "Someone else's urgency is not my urgency," on loop, growing louder each pass. Rumor has it the writers frame this as a karmic boomerang. The more the line repeats, the faster the kitchen fills with NDA confetti, ripped pages from those staff daybooks, and little cartoon Netflix logos fluttering like moths around a dimming overhead bulb. Finally, the corgi trots to center stage, sits and presses a giant red button labeled fact check. The whole set dissolves into static, revealing a stark title card reading, "End of transmission, truth not found." Sources close to test viewers claim the audience erupted in half-horrified laughter, with at least one exec allegedly muttering, "This is the harshest fade-out we've ever shipped to standards." Meanwhile, pundits who panned Meghan's Aspire interview are already sharpening their takes, predicting the corgi cameo will trend harder than her jam rollout. Even body language sleuths who deconstructed those clipped smiles on YouTube are whispering that the animated eye rolls mirror the real-world ones. South Park's team is said to be weighing minimal edits, but belts are tightening in Monteceto PR circles. Insiders whisper frantic emails are flying, asking whether an injunction could still be filed before the episode locks. A studio source shrugs, "Good luck." Final mix is days away, and satire laws are ironclad. So here we are, poised between leak and broadcast, uncertain whether Meghan's camp will swing a last-minute axe or spin the whole thing as proof she's still the most talked-about duchess on either side of the pond. Will the corgi button survive? Could Netflix partnerships take collateral shrapnel? And if the writers really did leave room for a sequel, what royal wildcard might they unleash next? Drop your theories in the comments, tap that like, punch subscribe, and keep the notification bell primed so you never miss a single whispered development. You won't believe what's coming next.